as strange as this sort of swing felt, if like it made a massive change, we're going to show you now how much change there isn't. But for me, I don't like making massive changes. If you're going to play golf, for example, this afternoon, that's manageable. You can play with that. It's a playable shot.
One thought in my head is
exactly. So the feeling for you now, when you went back before, the hands are going out and the club was getting a bit sort of far behind you. This swing here now, as you go back, okay, about there, we're kind of there. So the hands are still working in nicely, okay, there's a bit more chest to the body, as you can see there now. Club's still a little bit on the inside, okay, as we said, hasn't really moved that far over yet, but the hands are working in better, okay. So now at the top of the backswing, looks like the club can go nice and high. It's always going to be a bit across the line, because that's something you've always done, but this is the top of the club there now, is a much better arm position there. That's all collapsed, you've dropped down and sunk, and then when you come back to the golf ball now, because of that, that club's well behind your legs. When you come back to here, the club now is on your leg. It's only moved probably this much. But in reality, if it moves more than that, you'll miss the golf ball probably. Because the club's so far away. So what we're going to see in time now from sort of kind of today, there was your club, there's now your club, and in time it's going to move gradually over bit by bit to get kind of back in front of you. Okay? So it reduces the amount of that you get, which then in turn reduces the amount of that far right you're going to aim, which reduce how much inside you're going to come from, which reduces the unmentionables. They all kind of go hand in hand. The 3 or 4 shots you said you were getting, as we said, you can see on this one when you come in the golf ball now, your club's kind of bottoming out pretty much about there somewhere, coming from quite an acute angle, whereas this one now, as you can see, sort of bottom out more towards the ball and a more direct hit this way. So he's working more towards target. The last dozen shots have been a lot cleaner. I think for you the biggest issue is going to be more of a trust issue in terms of direction where you're aiming. If you've seen right to left for the last few weeks quite a lot, you're going to just instinctively aim what feels straight to the flag 30 yards right. And that's going to be tough to go, no, I'm aiming for the flag, or just right the flag, rather than allowing for a shot that you may not hit anymore now. So if today you're going to play this afternoon,
No,
okay, fine.
no, they opened this morning.
Okay, I tell you what, there might be quite a good idea then, if the course is quieter-ish, if you've got time this afternoon, just go out and play 4 or 5 holes with a couple of balls, just to try and see if you can translate from here out onto the golf course in the short term, okay? Expectations are going to be, okay, can I just work on getting that club, just work on that feeling, and almost in some ways forget the outcome as much, as work on, am I getting the club working back better in the takeaway to get that club more upright? Like I say, you can do some swings at home with a wall kind of behind you there, so trying to swing the golf club back now as you go back here.
So without hitting the wall on your...
Try to miss the wall, but trying to miss the wall with the feeling of the hands working in as the club works up. We don't want to try to miss the wall. If you bring the club back down, I think, okay, the wall's behind me. Wait, I missed it. Exactly, that's the key thing. So your hands are working as the club goes up, okay? So the club's always staying in front of your hands, in front of your body, and coming down on a kind of more direct hit rather than being in here, across the line, then dipping, and then trying to sort of come in from here, and the club just bottoming out too early. And that's what I think happened when your path just starts tweaking a bit more on the inside, and that's kind of your tendency, okay? Remember last time the lesson was a bit of a snap hook and stuff like that before, and what happened is, if you imagine your golf club is magnetised to a spot somewhere around here, okay, so at the moment your backswing was whipping in there, hitting the magnet and getting stuck on that magnet, okay. What we've got to try and do is move off that magnet. Now believe it or not, the further away from that magnet you're going to get, the easier it's going to be, okay. Initially almost like you're fighting come on, get the club back, and it's like there's quite a lot of effort to try and get off that magnet. What will happen, and this is what I see with a lot of people, they'll have that first thing, boom, on the magnet there, basically get away from their tendency and then leave it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 or 4 months, 4 or 5, it starts getting pulled back, and then eventually then 6 months down the line you're like way back into where you've gone to. So just trying to sort of keep that up all the time and just make sure we keep in check with going forward, rather than, okay, I've got that today, got the ball flight going nicely, I'm cured kind of thing, and then, okay, 6 months later, back to the same old, back in there again, you whip, because that's kind of a default habit you've got, and that will always be trying to go back there. I've had the same for 25 years, but I know what the fault is, and I know then when I then get on the golf course, if that starts creeping in, okay, I'm doing this again, and I'll try and change that to try and I've got like a go-to swing, shall we say, that gets you on the golf course. So rather than sort of just going and carving it 30 yards left or snap hook into the whatever, I can then get around the golf course to some respectable score and come back, okay, right, that fault's come back in again, hit the range for half an hour or so and try and work on that drill. Okay.
I think I'll book like a couple of months lessons, you know.
Well, that's what you get the email and stuff with the package and stuff I sent out. Okay, well, what I've done now is I've created...
I don't remember you.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, sorry, okay.
I think the last time I had one it was group 1, I think.